What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sideways Garage. I'm Thomas, and I finally got my big box of Chase Bay's parts that I've been waiting on for months now. I'm super excited. This is the Break Booster Elite and the Brake Line Relocation bias valve. Kind of got that all installed already. Got a little excited, a little ahead of myself. Forgot to record, but I'm recording now, so we're gonna put this in the car. And I also got some power steering stuff to convert from the JZ power steering pump to the E36 power steering rack. And yeah, let's get all the stuff installed. Alright, don't mind the engine bay. It's a little messy. I'm kind of in the middle of wiring the entire engine, so please ignore. Let's see if this fits better now. Still all of them, except for that. Oh, there it goes. Alright. Perfect. I'll just leave that like that for now. And now we'll go inside the car so we can see what's going on the other side. Alright, so if we look under the car, you can see all those studs coming out. I'm a little squished, but so this is going to be a little bit hard to film because it's a little cramped down here, and I think I'm going to block the light with my entire body when I try to tighten those bolts. But I think it's just a 13, and yeah, I'll get those tightened, and we'll see what the next step is. Alright, so that took way too long, and it was very crammed and very difficult because my front seat is as far forward as it possibly can be at the moment, and I don't have any way to move it back, so it was super difficult, super cramped. My back hurts a lot, but got the pedal on properly. There's some play so that it's not constantly pressing down on the brake pedal and wearing down my rotors and pads, which is very bad. So yeah, got that all installed properly, and let's get these brake lines installed. Alright, so the first step is going to be cracking this brake line right here. I believe it's an 11. Yep. Ooh. Dang. That was dusty. Alright. And there we go. It is loose and off now. I'm going to just kind of get it out of the way. Alright. So that brake line comes up through this hole right here, and it travels all the way around behind the engine. Yeah, so it goes all the way behind the engine right there, and it is one of these 4 brake lines right there. And so we are going to take that out and connect it to the port right there on the little Chase Bay's T adapter. Alright, so this is the Chase Bay's passenger front brake line. It's the longest one in the brake line relocation kit if for some reason you're following along. I'll just put it over there for a second. Oh my god, geez, finally. Alright, I am gonna go wash my hands because they are absolutely filthy. And I'm gonna throw some gloves on so this doesn't happen again. Okay, now I have some gloves on. I am going to screw this onto the T adapter. Where's that wrench I was using?
found it. Okay. I'm gonna kind of fish this behind the engine, hopefully. Oh, of course, it's stuck on something. What just happened? Okay. Neat. Okay. I'm gonna look at this from this side while I do it, just because I think that will be a lot easier. It's much easier to see when I can actually see. I have this behind the engine now, and let's put it on this T adapter. I don't think I've ever had to tighten such an awkward nut. Okay, yeah, that is super good, super tight. And I'm just gonna fish this down the hole on that side. I'll put it in later, just so I can get the other ones on and in place where they're supposed to go.
Alright, and then it's going to be the same thing on the driver's side. It is an 11. Just going to try and crack this loose. Okay, that one was not nearly as bad as the other side. Okay. Okay, there we go. That is so much better. I'm not going to leave that there because I think that's a good spot to keep the brake lines out of the way of everything. I'm going to kind of try to bend this out, and I'm getting brake fluid everywhere. Awesome. Bend this a little bit. Guess I'm going to bend that up so that it's not leaking brake fluid everywhere, even though it still is. Alright.
Okay, so my microphone died, and I'm going to do a quick voiceover just so I can explain what I was talking about in the moment. This is the middle length brake line that came with the Chase Bays kit. That is the one that goes on the driver's front side. It has very clearly one end which has the like a female side thread, and then the other side, which is a male. I kind of show right here. That side goes on the brake bias Chase Bays part, and then the other side goes onto the brake line. It just connects right where the other one came off of, and yeah, it basically just 90s straight down out of the Chase Bays bias valve. It's like a little T, and then this is the one for the rears. It goes to, so it goes on the other side. It's not on the T adapter that's on the bias valve, because this is how you adjust the difference between the rear and the fronts. It just threads in down there by those lines. I don't really want to touch them because they go all the way to the back and they stay the same length. But yeah, just kind of thread those in there, and then they go up in 90 to the opposite side of the bias valve, because you want different front and rear brake bias. You don't want like different left and right. So yeah, just kind of thread those in there. I was having some trouble with it, I guess, but all right. So now we are in the driver's side wheel well. I did not do a very good job of showing how this kind of goes in. Basically, that the stock brake line kind of goes up to where that little bracket is. I kind of touch it right here, and then you just basically screw it back in. And it's the same thing for the other side. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. All right, it's the next morning, or not the next morning, it's a couple days later. I got a haircut. I'm bald now. And we're going to be doing the clutch line stuff and also the power steering, which I forgot to mention earlier. But yeah, so we're doing the power steering first and then the clutch stuff just for this night, just to kind of get it done with. All right, so first things first is this 90-degree adapter that goes into the power steering pump. That kind of goes right here. And then to hold that in place, there's this little L bracket that kind of clips on there and then screws into this top hole. I'm going to turn this over so that those letters aren't facing out. You hold this. So it looks better. Yeah, so that goes in like that. And I'll find that bolt. All right, so I found the bolt. I have no idea the threads or anything, but I tried it and it fits. At least I think. I tried one similar to it and I like matched the threads up. So this should work. And out of this 90, I don't know what to call it, this bit, comes the biggest AN hose. And that goes to the bottom of the reservoir, just kind of loosely fitting everything in. Yeah, just kind of loosely, just so it can kind of rotate around. Okay, and then the other end of the reservoir, it goes to the other AN female adapter, obviously. Yeah, that's the only one. And then this should feed into where the stock one was feeding into from. This little adapter, AN adapter, was threaded into this other non-braided hose. I believe this one is the one that goes into the bottom of the power steering pump. Okay, different angle so you can see better now. I believe that the non-braided line goes to the one, I still have the old power steering lines on. I believe it's the one with, oh, there's power steering fluid in there. The one with this kind of, I don't know what to call it. I believe it goes here though, because. So my thought process behind this, at least since I still have the old power steering lines, is that the one that has kind of the banjo boat hole goes into the, or goes like to the power steering pump, because I believe that's how it was. And then the one that just kind of has this hose end adapter, I believe that one went to the reservoir. I'm just guessing, but that makes perfect sense to me, at least. So I'm going to take the other line out of the reservoir that doesn't go to the power steering pump, and I'm going to, I have to take off the whole power steering cooler. It's just two 10 millimeters in the front, and then whatever this size of this banjo bolt is, I kind of have to try and fail with this one, but it's pretty large, so. All right, so the power steering cooler is a 22 millimeter bolt, which is actually gigantic. Ow. Okay. All right, yeah. There's the banjo bolt off the cooler. I believe it should just come out now. Yes, okay. Got the cooler out, and now that is open for this line. I don't know, I'm kind of loosely fitting everything still because I know that it won't fit with the intake in the spot that I'm supposed to mount it, so I'm kind of having to figure out where things go. I am going to take this out of the reservoir actually, just because it's easier to tighten with it off of this. Okay. Okay. That line is on. I'm not going to tighten that one. I'm going to take off this other one, which I was saying I believe goes back to the power steering pump. And I'm going to just try
to connect it with this other one that I have. I think this has like power steering fluid in it, which is kind of gross, but okay. Let's plug back on. And again, I'm gonna take this bit off, or this adapter off. Obviously, the side with the larger threads with that red cap and the washer goes on the steering rack side. And when it is the more, I guess, northern one, if you're for some reason following along at home, I doubt it. Probably can't say anything either. Okay, got that one on. I think I should just be able to. I'm gonna unscrew this one from this side too. I don't know why I did this. I guess I was just kind of testing everything, but okay. And probably would have been way easier without the engine in here, but you know, kind of took like 4 months to get here. Yes, I do. I can't get this to thread on there. Is it going? Yep. Yes. Okay, perfect. Alright, so this one now I can just connect right here because this one doesn't have any other. I don't have any issues fitting this one. At least I shouldn't. Yeah. Alright. Now this one here, maybe, and then I will cry about the location of where this has to fit, and I'll show you why in 2 seconds. All right, so we take my gigantic intake and just fit it on very loosely, just kind of so that it goes in place, which is a terrible fit. Hopefully it's better when I actually have my transmission mounted properly. There it goes. So it sits something like that. And the power steering reservoir is supposed to go right here. And that is not happening. All right. I know the mic quality is a little different. The microphone's just died, but so we're just on the camera mic. But so this is what we're looking at right now. Everything on, kind of mocked up in place. I think we're gonna figure out how to mount the power steering reservoir right there. I think that's the best location for it because these lines are only so long and I really don't want to have to buy new lines. But yeah, there's my gigantic intake. Nothing's wired, kind of working on that, procrastinating a lot. The brake booster is right there, obviously. But yeah, got all the chase bay stuff. The only thing still that I have to do technically is the clutch feed line from the reservoir. It's tapped into the brake booster reservoir, but, or the, I don't know what to call it, the brake master cylinder reservoir, because there's no brake booster obviously. But yeah, that clutch line is tapped in, but it needs to be fed into the top of the clutch pedal, and then I need to go out of where it comes like out and then goes to the transmission. But I'm also going to do that once I get the transmission bracket. I'm still waiting on that. I got it ordered from Freed Engineering. I'll explain it a little better when I actually get it in hand and I can show you physically what I'm talking about and the situation that I had to deal with. Not really deal with, kind of my fault and me just being dumb. But anyways, yeah, this is where it sits tonight, and I think that is a wrap for tonight. See you next time.